that summit, 3.5 weeks of work made me $22,000. And from there, I quit my day job because I was like, oh, I can repeat making summits and ultimately I'll get close to what I was making in aerospace just doing summits.
Hello, welcome to Monetizing Mompreneurs podcast, where I take you behind the scenes with industry leaders, entrepreneurs, moms, working professionals, and amazing people pursuing their passions and going for their dreams. And I'm your host, Linda Mendable. This week is a Black Friday special for Monetizing Mompreneur Summit tickets. So go to monetizingmompreneurs.summit.com and grab your free ticket and then grab the Black Friday bundle special. Okay, you don't want to miss out. Prices go up next week. So make sure you snag that. And I can't wait to see you at the event. When you snag your ticket, you get all of the replays. You get all of the speakers, special bonuses. Some of them have placed amazing value-filled courses, content, and so much more. You don't want to miss this. So I'll catch you all December 6th through the 8th. We kick it off at 12 p.m. EST time every single day between, the 8th, the 6th, 7th, and 8th. And it goes until either 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. EST, depending on if we're going to do a panel discussion. Sometimes we do hot seats. Sometimes we do networking. So come and join us. It is live, and the free ticket gets you access to the live event, while the bundle, the VIP All Access Pass ticket, grants you access to all of the replays, a special link to the podcast as well. So you don't want to miss this. We have a special podcast series with our VIP guests from past summits. And this one is going to be absolutely special. This is our last one of the year, and I don't want you to miss it. I want to meet you. So come on over, and I will see you on December 6th, 7th, and 8th, Lord willing. So have an amazing week. Snag your ticket, and I'll see you there. Welcome to Monetizing Mompreneurs podcast. I'm here with Amanda, who helps secretly spiritual entrepreneurs heal from chronic illness so you can live your purpose. So Amanda, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Linda.
I'm so excited that you're here. So you're part of our blooper special. So tell us a little bit about you and your blooper.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Body Whisper Healing is one of 3 businesses that I currently run. It is the one business that I'm really focused on right now. I also have a softball business called White Zone Coaching. And then I have an aerospace business that is kind of low key. So I'm going to keep it that way, where I work on creating radiation protection. I used to work for NASA, or worked on projects for NASA, I should say. The Artemis program, I worked on that one. Proud of that baby. My second Artemis vehicle, third Orion vehicle will be going into space hopefully next year. So that's kind of cool. I have had multiple online businesses, been doing the entrepreneur thing since 2015. And my blooper is from the first virtual summit that I ran back in, I want to say it's 2015 or 2016 or it was 2017. Oh Lord, yes. 2017, when I did a summit called Eat Your Dirt, which was to help people that love to garden do it more efficiently. And that blooper, it was a blessing and a curse, of course. You want me to dive right into it?
Oh yeah, we gotta dive, that's the only way. We gotta peel the Band-Aid.
Oh, yes. The people who saw the summit got to witness it firsthand, but I haven't really told people outside of the summit about this. So this is the first time I'm kind of unveiling it.
Oh, wonderful. We're doing summits. So this is like right on time. And I wanna learn from you.
Okay. Well, Virtual summit mastery is how I learned how to do a summit. And as far as I know, Naveed and Jan, the two owners of that company, are revamping it and teaching new ways to do summits. So a lot of what I'm going to share is old school now that we have AI at least. But launching that summit, I put it together in about 3 weeks. And going into the kickoff party, I had a family member pass away and I wasn't about to miss her funeral. So I packed up all of my gear, my microphone and my computer and my camera and all the stuff that you need, your ring light, all the things, and took it to my parents' house. And I kicked my parents out of the house with my daughter. And I told them, you've got to stay away from the house for at least the next 2 hours while I do a kickoff party. And they were like, that's fine. We'll take Grace, my daughter, to the Discovery Center in my hometown, which was perfect. And I was like, she'll love this. She was at the time, let's see, she was probably 4 years old at the time. So your daughter's age, Linda. And I get everything set up and I thought I was ready to go and I kicked off and I was very excited and I couldn't find where the chat was because part of this kickoff party was to interact with all of the people that were going to come watch this summit. And I had over 400 people online ready to chat with me and I couldn't find the chat. And I'm trying to keep it together as much as I possibly could during this conundrum. And I was letting them know, like, I'm trying to find my chat. My VA is trying to help me find my chat. I promise the kickoff party is supposed to be this interactive thing. I'm hoping I can find it for you so that we can actually interact. And about 45 minutes into this kickoff party, I finally find the chat. And the blessing to this was that people got to get really vulnerable with me really quickly. I almost came down in tears. I was, I'm just trying to hold it together, letting them know, like, I'm at my parents' house. I'm at a funeral. Like, the funeral's tomorrow, the visitation's tonight. I'm just trying to hold it together, people. And my sales started to just start ticking off. People were like, you know what? She is working her butt off for this. We're going to buy her product. And the product was that the summit, so they could watch all of the videos instead of having to show up on the day of when the people were speaking. And it was a blessing in that regard. And of course, a curse because I was losing my mind.
Wow. Wow.
Great
That is
blooper.
so cool. That is a great blooper. First of all, I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm sure it was pretty hard. But second, I mean, shoot, yeah, I mean, that was pretty cool. And people got vulnerable in the chat. And did you read over the chat and the comments? And
Yes, there were tons of comments. My VA was in there commenting with people, letting them know, like, Amanda will respond when she figures out where in the world the chat is at. And eventually I did. They all stayed on for 2 hours to chat with me and discuss the summit and
oh,
letting them know, here's all of the cool things that you'll get when you purchase, which all of the speakers have provided a really great gift for you if you purchase the summit. That was the thing I was like hoping, like, see the value in this, please. Right? Because all of the speakers put together a win-win, really, a win for themselves, a win for me, and a win for every person who shows up and actually participates and gets the summit recordings. And eat your dirt. What I love about this, that title is like cussing at gardeners. Dirt is a 4-letter word. And they were into it right away, which was awesome. But that summit, 3.5 weeks of work, made me $22,000. And from there, I quit my day job because I was like, oh, I can repeat making summits and ultimately I'll get close to what I was making in aerospace just doing summits. So it was a definite win in that department as well.
oh my goodness. That is such a great story. And we're monetizing entrepreneurs, so I definitely have to pick your brain on how you went in. I mean, first of all, you were niched.
Yes, very, very
Very,
niched.
very niched.
Helping the urban gardener do it efficiently, do it with permaculture is what I was teaching, but permaculture on a much smaller scale. Permaculture is usually applied to farms where you're figuring out how water moves through your environment and all of those kinds of things. What's your landscape doing? And teaching it to the gardener, the home gardener, is basically teaching them you don't have to weed, you don't have to water if you set things up properly. And yeah, it was very niched, and it worked out beautifully.
Oh, I'm a gardener myself. So and the thing about it is there's really not a lot of resources sometimes on permaculture. You don't know where to start.
Oh,
And I hear
right.
permaculture is the way to go because you don't have to weed. Everything is just the ecosystem is just working, right?
Yes,
Everything is
yes,
just, working in the way that it's supposed to be. So
yes,
that,
the way nature intended.
yes. So how did you promote? So you were working 3 weeks.
Yes, three
What did you
weeks
do? What did you do in those 3 weeks when you were putting it together? And
I gathered my speakers, I recorded video from my speakers, I set the schedule, I got the website all up. Every speaker had their own page, so there was too many pages on, on that particular website, promoting it, constantly promoting it. You know what marketing looks like when it comes to the online world. So it was promoting it in all the different channels that I was connected to, promoting it on all of my different resources for social media and my email list. And at that time, my email list was like, I think I had probably about 1,000 people on it. And by the end of that summit, I ended up with 5,500 people on my email list. So it was a huge, huge growth in a very short period of time. And it was amazing how quickly I had to move through. Okay, you had a little business, now you have a big business. Go
yeah,
quickly.
yeah, that's wonderful. And do you still teach the permaculture or you've since moved on and put those
Moved
strategies
on.
elsewhere?
Yeah, I moved on. I this particular product, so the Eat Your Dirt Summit, and one of the courses that I created an online course. Both of those are sold on their own in an evergreen environment, and they bring in about $500 a year. So it's one of the many legs that I have to my business, but it's not something I teach anymore, other than to people who ask me like, how do you make your garden grow? And
Yeah.
I'll give them advice here and there just to help them out. And every once in a while I'll be like, oh yeah, and I have that summit. It costs X dollars. Do you want it? And they're like, yes, I want it, because it's about 60 hours worth of content. So it's its own education. It's a course in and of itself. And that's
Yeah,
what I love about summits is they really compile a bunch of information as long as you're specific, and then you can digest that information over years. I mean, I launched that in 2017, and there's still people buying it today. So it's definitely one of those evergreen kind of products, but it's also information that people will always want.
yeah, and there's a beauty also in live launching because that's where you can really see like the results and that sweat equity that you put into it and the
Yes.
investment you put into it actually take a hold and people really like talk in the chats and everything like that. Because I hosted a summit every quarter for this year. I know I overdid it. I
Holy
overdid it.
cow! I've done
Yeah,
two in a year. That was enough for me.
but I stretched it out. I only had 9 speakers as opposed to 27 or 30 speakers. I only had 9 speakers for each segment because I wanted to see, was this something that I truly wanted to do? Can I do this? And
Yeah,
I decided to do bite-sized pieces.
good
We are
call.
now, yes, and we are now in December 6th to the 8th, we're about to launch Monetizing Mompreneur Summit about scaling and being productive in your scale. Absolutely. And basically, we're going to be having 27 speakers. We now have the
Come
capacity.
on.
Yes, this is the one. This is the one. We now have the capacity to do it. We've, streamlined our systems, and we also have a program teaching people how to grow their email list with bundles and summits because there is magic. There is magic in the summits and the bundles.
There is. I think my favorite thing about doing a summit as an entrepreneur are the connections that you make. You make connections with your audience, but you're making connections with the speakers who are people that can help promote your stuff. I mean, it's a win-win because in my summits, and Linda, let me know what you do with yours, but in my summits, I would give a percentage of what my speakers brought in. So if they brought in 15 people that bought the VIP package or a larger product from me, I'm giving them back 50% of the ticket price if it's a VIP ticket, or I'm giving them back 40% of my courses. And for them, if they sold say 10 of those, they're making a couple $100. That's a good deal when all they've got to do is send out one email and one post on social media and bam, because they've already got the market. They've already got the attention. That's what I love about it. And then those relationships, I still talk to a bunch of the speakers from that particular summit. We still connect and talk about gardening and talk about rocket mass heaters is one of the things I'm geeking out right now on.
Absolutely. I am experiencing the same thing. So before this is my blooper, is we started in Hey Summit. There's an app called Hey Summit.
Oh yes. That came out like 5-6 years ago. I remember
and I bought the
someone in our
AppSumo.
group dropped that one.
Yeah, I bought the AppSumo deal about that time frame.
Yes.
I got the lifetime option. I was like, one day I may do a summit as I'm growing.
Yes.
And, this was the year that I decided to go ahead and go for it because we have the community. I know we have the connections. I was like, we can make this happen. But my blooper was that because of Hey Summit and the structure, we were having a ton of signups and 9 speakers, and we were having, like over 300 signups and everything like that. But the Zoom links weren't working really well.
When tech fails you, it's
Oh
the
my
worst,
God.
isn't it?
And what the worst part was? We had people buy in the live, but people weren't buying pre because someone came up to me and was like, Linda, I look at because Hey Summit platform wasn't really geared up for sales.
Oh
That's
no.
my blooper, girl.
Oh, that's the worst blooper ever. Oh, mine was just the chat.
I know.
The
And
sales
you
worked.
made 20,000 off of yours, like
Yeah, yeah. That's my
my
most successful summit to date.
But you know what? I absolutely love that experience because there's a lot of mompreneurs that don't have a story like, yeah, it was a blooper, but you had a big cash in on your blooper. And some
So,
people don't have that story.
yeah,
And maybe someone's like me, like, oh, I try to launch and crickets. And I
yes.
think it's not about the launching, it's about the learning. What are you learning? Like now we're about to launch our 4th ever summit. We have the capacity to do 27 speakers. I have a rock solid team, a small but mighty team.
Yes, you need one of those.
Absolutely. And we're getting stuff done.
That's the only way I could have done that in 3 weeks is with a full team. And that was the other thing. Like when you look at like, okay, I made $22,000, but a lot of that went to paying my team. It went to paying off all of the people who helped me make the money. So all of the speakers got their payouts 30 days later because of the 30-day money back guarantee. Oh my gosh. But still, $22,000 on your first summit ever, like, woo!
No, that's the way. I mean, I know that's the way to go. And that's why I was like, and now I participate in bundles, those free bundles. I don't know if you ever participated in those bundles. And it blew up my notifications. And I
Mhm.
said, I've been looking for something to teach others that will help expedite their growth. And
Yeah.
I was like, this is what I want to be known for. This is what I want to help others because moms, we're so pressed for time, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
Like your daughter, your daughter was 4 years old at the time, you were going through a life, but you believed in what you were doing. And
Yes,
that's a big deal. Because
that is.
did you even think that it would be successful, or you were just like, let's see what happens?
It was one of those like fingers
Fingers.
crossed. I think we'll probably get based off of all of the people, engineer. So I'm doing a whole bunch of calculations in the back of my head and I'm going, okay, so if I have this speaker and this speaker and this speaker, and those are my A players, they probably won't promote, but they will have the draw, right? And they did. One speaker in particular had a huge draw for me, which was awesome. And she didn't promote it at all and actually had to cancel her speaking position because it was during the big landslides in California in 2017, and she lived in that area, and she was like, listen, I've got to move my house, I've got to move my business,
Wow.
I can't participate. And I was just like, oh gosh, I've got to break that news during the kickoff party.
Oh man. And people
It was
still
like,
call.
okay, that was another blooper that happened during that, another lesson learned for sure. But it was the calculations. I was like, okay, we should probably have about 5,000 people sign up. And if 10% of those people purchase, then I should be able to make, and I was estimating right around $10,000 to $15,000. That was my hope. And it obviously exceeded that. I got more than 5,000 subscribers. Most of those people purchased. And it's a testament to the fact that when you're vulnerable, when you have a blooper,
Yes.
you can keep your crap together. People
I
appreciate
think
that.
I think it's about like, hey, I'm a real person, I believe in what I'm doing and I'm still here and I want you guys to get this because we've put in work behind this and we want you guys to get this material.
We
And I
have
think
not
it's just like
work.
the integrity, right? The dedication behind that. And that's what I did. I said, you know what? I'm gonna do a summit every quarter, even though mine was a flop, kind of. I did have some sales, but a little bit like I didn't go into the thousands,
Yeah.
but
Lessons learned.
lessons learned. And I still kept going. And I was like, okay, what's going on? The sales page is not working. Okay, we fixed that. What's going on? We got to create a better funnel. We got to create it. I just wanted to see if I can do it. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? That was
Yes,
me. I
that's
was
what the first one's about. Success aside, it's about, can I even handle this?
and
Because,
that's
oh my
what's
gosh.
important. Yeah, that's what's important about getting into you went into a program that taught you what
Yeah.
maybe they learned, right? Their
Yes.
bloopers and stuff like
Yes.
that. And that's why I'm also developing that, like, hey, don't do my mistake. Let's get you right from the start, from
Yeah.
the jump, from Jump Street. And
Yes.
I'm really excited about this summit. We have, a really like A players in our speaking line and everything like that. So
I'm excited
I'm
to check it
excited.
out.
Yeah, it's called Monetizing Mompreneur Summit. You can sign up, and it's all about scaling and being productive with scaling. Oh my goodness, for moms.
Scaling, man. Scaling is a trick in and of itself. That's the
So
that's that's the
are
magic.
you still, yeah, that is the magic. Are you still utilizing summits, or do you have another strategy that you're doing, or?
When it comes to body whisper healing, I am mostly referral based. I am pretty much full based off of referrals, which again, it goes back to those connections with other people in your industry. Uh, I didn't need to make a summit for this. I probably will at some point, or I will work to get into some of the bigger summits, like Shift Network is one that I'm definitely eyeballing right now, going, I really want to get into Shift Network's network, which I have some connections there. So fingers crossed, you might see me on Shift Network.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. That's what it's about. It's about creating these platforms that women can gain more visibility. And that's what I'm for as well. It's like, hey, we there's more than enough. But
yeah.
so go ahead. I'm interested.
Yeah, that's uh I did another so I've done two summits and I've launched one summit twice. And the first summit that I did, you guys got to hear about that. The second summit that I did was in 2020, which is a blooper in and of itself. The whole year is a blooper in and of itself. And that one was directed towards softball parents and understanding the recruiting process. And 2020 ultimately changed the game for changed the recruiting game for every athlete that's trying to go to college on an athletic scholarship. So that was my second summit. That one made $8,000, so not quite the success that the first one did, but I might do one for Body Whisper Healing. We'll see.
Oh, that's nice. Hey, why don't you come on in for the new ways, right?
Exactly,
You
exactly.
come on to monetize entrepreneurs. Why not? No, but but what is your new strategy? For me, I know word of mouth and referrals is like the number one best way to grow your business. So
Yeah.
how are you developing that strategy, and how are you kicking off with that?
So with Body Whisper Healing, I have a couple of strategic partners that I work with, and they refer people to me pretty consistently. And then, of course, the clients that I have, they get success with me, and then they're referring people to me. So it's just this constant funnel of referrals coming in, which is beautiful, and why I also had to create a group coaching program so that I could help more people, because I'm constantly looking to help more and more people. I want to have the ability to. So when it comes to scaling for me, I went from the one-to-one model to the one-to-many model. And that's ultimately what I'm hoping to fill now, is that Heal to Grow program, which is, for me, it's a 6-month program that helps someone go from chronically ill to healed, and they're able to really start to dive back into their purpose within their entrepreneurial journey.
Amen. Okay, so tell us a little bit about like how you started. Like, boom, you didn't stay within the permaculture. Why did you shift? Why did you pivot?
Because I'm a multi-dimensional human being. Because I knew there was a higher calling for me, really, is what it boiled down to. And one of the things that I love about permaculture is that it involves the body. It involves getting into the soil and understanding how to work with the land. But for me, I started as from my education, I'm a mechanical and aerospace engineer who specifically worked on human in the loop aerospace projects. I wanted to always be involved with the human body. And softball business, same thing, human body's involved. And then the body whisper healing, obviously, human body is involved. It's all about healing the body. And for me, that was my higher calling. Permaculture has the human body in the loop, but it wasn't enough for me to go like, yeah, this is where I really, really want to spend all of my energy, especially as a mom, especially as a wife. Uh,
Amen.
those right,
I can feel
those
that.
jobs take first, and then the businesses.
Yes, I absolutely feel that because, it's about creating that impact. It's about reaching that one person that you're meant to reach.
Yeah,
And that's one of the reasons why I do what I do, why I host this podcast, because like it's like how you feel, it's your calling. And
yeah,
so that's the same way as how I feel. I definitely get down in prayer and like, Lord, open the doors that are meant to be open and shut the doors that are meant to be shut. And
exactly. Show me
how
the signs. So I
Yes. And
know.
oh my gosh. And let me tell you, when I landed on bundles and summits, I was like, this is it.
Yes. I mean, again, that connection piece where it's a win-win-win. The people
Oh my
watching
God.
win, the speakers win, and the host wins. That's the ultimate dream, right? Every scenario that we create, we want to have that win-win-win. And
Absolutely.
I mean, I definitely learned that in summits, and now in body whisper healing, I am flooded with joy when my clients have success, when they start off with a chronic condition like cancer, and then they walk away and they say it's gone, and I'm like, hallelujah, we did what we were supposed to do. Success. Those kinds of things fill me with the utmost joy. And I know without a shadow of a doubt, my purpose is to help people to feel better, to feel good, and then to live their own purpose, and to know what their purpose is very clearly.
Yeah, absolutely. I love this conversation, and I just love the journey from the bloopers. And then, so let's go into you. Boom, you went into the permaculture, you've launched a few businesses,
Mhm.
and now you're here. How did you land it into Body Whisper Healing?
Man, it's been quite the road, honestly. So, when it comes to what I do in body whisper healing, my biggest gift is being able to tap into somebody else's body and literally feel what they're feeling, and pinpointing and putting together the puzzle of what's really going on. And it, unfortunately, in Western medicine, we don't look at the body this way. We look at a very small subset of things. Like you go to a cardiologist, but they only work on the heart. The cardiovascular system is much bigger than just your heart. I put it all together and make it so that it's in a nice little bundle for you. Here you go. This is what's really happening and why it's happening. And here's how to get to the root cause of what's happening so that we can heal it. And the process of me getting to that point where I was able to tell a person this and get paid to do this has been basically an entire lifetime to get here. I was a super sentient being from the get-go. I could feel everybody's stuff when I was a little kid. And now being able to harness it and use it and basically have dashboards for each of my clients and understanding that's how we're going to work through being able to feel everybody's stuff. That is how I've gotten to this point. And that was a gift that I've had all along. And now I feel safe and I trust the messages that I receive to be able to deliver them to other people. And that was the game changer for me.
Yeah, I can tell that you're very passionate about what you do and the work that you do. I mean, I'm sure it's very challenging work sometimes and everything like that, but I feel as though like our insights are so invaluable and what we have to offer, sometimes even a different perspective, even a mindset shift can just gain us such, clarity to help us, feel different within our own bodies. Because I feel when you're doing something that you love and something that you feel as though is your calling, I feel that alone can also bring about a joy and a peace within that can just transform your life, right? It's about being that gratitude, right?
Yep.
Being grateful for what you have and that
I'm afraid to share it.
Yeah, and not living in certain places that are hurtful and certain places, oh, I don't have this or I don't have that. And I wish I had this or I wish I had that. And one thing that pops into my head is a verse that goes, even that, if you have, more would be given. And if you have not, even the little that you have will be taken from you. And that really goes to show that if we're not mindful of the abundance that we currently have right now, you're breathing, you have sight, if you do have sight, or you have hearing, obviously if you're listening, and you have breath in your lungs, that is a lot. That is worth so much. There was a reel that I saw that someone said, if I were to give you $10 million right now, would you be happy? And the person said yes. But the only caveat is you only have 24 hours to live. Would you take it? The person said no. And that's how so much more valuable your life is worth more than $10 million. And the thing about it is we don't see what we currently have. We're so fixated on the grass on the other side or on our neighbor's yard or the permaculture that's not working within our own yard that we don't see what's currently working. And I really feel like just, shifting our mindset can bring us so much joy within that causes so much goodness to come into our lives. Like even that which you have, much more would be given. Because if you have a mentality of abundance, even that which you have, more would be given to you. But if you have a mentality of scarcity, even with that you have, because we all have abundance, but we think that we don't. And if you think that you don't, even that you have will be taken from you. So that verse to me really kind of like makes me fearful of never, like, do not be grateful. Like you got to be grateful in life. And I feel like, like from what I'm hearing from you and the work that you're doing, like a lot of it comes with gratitude. I feel like a lot, like, that is like life transforming. And I know I went on a little bit of a tangent there.
Loved your tangent.
But I wanted to bring it on home and just the people that are listening and you're listening to this, like, I'm sure when you went into your launch, you had a different mentality, right? I feel like, did you have the mentality that it was going, I know you said you were crossing your fingers, but what did you feel inside during that launch? Do you feel hopeful and big and like, wow, this is going to be amazing? Or were you shrinking back and thinking that this is going to flop? What were you doing? Were you thinking in a scared mode,
The panic set in when my aunt passed away. Yet I was still able to manage all of that. Uh, it ultimately it was being able to rely on my team. My team saved me for sure on several occasions, especially when I had to announce to them, "Hey, I'm headed home. I'm supposed to present this. I was supposed to do my own personal presentation on the first day, and I had to have my VA, my assistant, who was doing all of the video work, present at that time. We flip-flop times, and I was like, "Are you okay with this?" And he was like, "Absolutely, I completely understand. Like you have to go to a funeral." Seeing the numbers come in before that kickoff video gave me confidence. And that was the thing that was like, okay, people are signing up. This is something that people want. I did a lot of research beforehand to make sure like this is something that people want. This is going to work out. I did my research on the who's also, but as an intuitive person, I also listened and heard like, okay, here are the people that you really need to have. And as I was lining up my speakers, I was asking my speakers, who is someone that you would want to learn from? And who is someone that you're already connected to that would be interested in being a speaker on this? And so I paid really close attention to those things. And I mean, I got the foremost speaker on soil to come to the summit, and then she canceled on me because of what happened in California at that time. But her name alone did phenomenal things for me, and that was by listening to intuition and what the other speakers were saying. Like, if you're talking about soil, you need this person. Amen, I will get her. And I did, and then I didn't. And there, when she let me know I have to cancel, a bit of panic set in, not gonna lie. There was definitely a bit of panic, and I was like, okay, hopefully the rest of the people who are on this summit can help toe the line for what she was bringing to the table. And they did. They showed up, and we all talked about soil in one way or another, and it turned out phenomenally. And every person who stuck around for the entire summit emailed me afterward and let me know, like, you did a phenomenal job.
Yeah,
All of your speakers did a phenomenal job. The packaging for
that's my
all of
favorite
the
part.
VIP product that was perfect. And I was just like, hallelujah, thank you. Thank you for confirming I'm on the right path.
Exactly. A lot of that is confirmation as well. But, and for I feel as though there's two avenues, right? And I feel like there's the successful route, right? That things just kick off, but like you went through some of the bad things, and there's also the ones that flop, right?
Yes.
Does a flop mean that you're not meant to do it? What would you say?
It means that you need to take the lessons and really digest them. Because it could mean it's time to stop or it's time to pivot. I launched a course right after that, and it was a beta launch for my course, and I got 10 people to purchase from all my 5,500 people that signed up for the summit that were on my email list now. I promoted that course to them, and I got 10 people to sign up, and I personally felt like that was a failure. And it did lead me down the path to realize, okay, permaculture is not the thing that is going to fill my cup. And that was a self-assessment. I had to do that internally. I couldn't be like, oh, well, that launch was the failure, and that's why I'm leaving permaculture. That wasn't the case. It was, does this really fill me? Is this something that really makes me go, I want to do this every single day. I want to garden every single day.
Oh yeah, gardening.
But I don't want to have to teach people constantly about my gardening techniques every single day. And that
Mm,
was where I was like, okay, it's time to pivot. And that pivot led me into doing softball, which I was a
very
Division 1 and Division 2 softball player, and
okay.
had a boatload of knowledge to share in the softball arena. I still coach it to this day. White Zone Coaching's been around since 2001.
Oh, nice.
That's my oldest business.
Yeah,
Uh,
my husband was a baseball player, so I get it.
yeah, and ultimately, when it comes to softball, that's my passion. That's a passion project, which means it's a side job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That reminds me of a story. I used to create handbags. So first, currently I'm a web designer and marketing coach. Yes. And I used to create handmade handbags. And I remember I was like, you know what? I'm going to teach, right?
Yes.
I did an in-person workshop and I promoted it and everything. I promoted it so hard and only 2 people signed up. And
no, it's got to build momentum.
I know that was good, right? That was good. 2 people, but I was excited. I was like, yeah. And then when I was down there and I was actually teaching, I was like, I hate this. I cannot teach this. Yep. And I think sometimes we got to do things in order for us to see if it's for us or not.
Oh yeah. The first online business that I launched was called Mom's 8 Limbs, which I still to this day love that name, because if you're a yogi, you understand that there's 8 limbs to yoga. And as a mom, we need 8 limbs to exist. So it was one of those like perfect names. And I was hoping to teach moms yoga, the kind of yoga that their body really needed, not the kind of yoga that they wanted. And realizing, oh, I'm not going to be able to sell that, made me go, okay, well, I can still teach yoga, but I'm not going to teach it to moms, because moms just want to lose the weight and get back into their before baby shape. And really, most of their bodies don't need that. Their bodies need to rest and recoup and be with baby. Grow child now that it's out of your body.
I'm still 4 years recouping.
See, right? I'm 9 years recoup. No. I think I got the recouping over with finally. But I think from that perspective, I think I was probably right around 5 years. We breastfed for a really long time. And then after that, my hormones had to have time to adjust back to normal. So 4 years after she was born was when I finally started to feel a little more normal. And then 5 years was when I was like, hallelujah, I'm myself again.
Yeah, it definitely has taken me 4 years to like, okay, I can now start, getting in shape. That's how I don't know why it took that long, but for me, it has taken that long.
Every body is different. With body whisper healing, I can't preach that one enough. Every body is different.
Absolutely. Amanda, where can people find you?
bodywhisperhealing.com. That is my website. And because you're a listener and you got to this point in the podcast, you get a free opportunity to have an initial consultation with me just because you're this listener. So bodywhisperhealing.com/thank-you-listener, all smashed together, no dashes or anything like that. That is my gift to you for listening to this podcast. And Linda, thank you so unbelievably much for having me on.
I am absolutely thankful for you. Thank you for coming on the show, sharing your amazing blooper. Come on. Does that even constitute as a blooper? Seriously.
Yes,
I hope I have a blooper like that. Except a little bit different. Like I can find the chat. So
45 minutes into a live kickoff.
Yeah, maybe mine would be like, oops, I fell on camera, I hope not. Never mind. I don't want that one because that could happen. I'm like, no, how about everything just goes perfectly and that's the blooper.
Right? That can be a blooper. Honestly, if you think about it, that can be a blooper.
Yeah, it went too perfectly.
Exactly. We tend to learn more from our mistakes than our successes. So that's definitely how that one can become a blooper.
Amen. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have a chance, stop by the website at lindabendable.com. Sign up for the Blog Cure, which is an awesome course that I created that will help you set up your blog or take your blog to the next level. And join us over at Monetizing Mompreneurs Facebook group. I just want to say again, thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening.